The First Indochina War ended in 1954 and led to the expulsion of French forces who had occupied the peninsula for almost a century. Vietnam was left divided into the Communist North and Catholic-led but predominantly Buddhist South. The South was supported by the United States, who saw the spread of communism as one of the 20th century's worst problems. The fear was that a domino effect would occur, that after the loss of one nation to communism, neighbors would surely follow. The United States was facing an encroaching communist front and decided that Vietnam was the place to make a stand. Recent operations saw thousands of South Vietnamese families moved into militia-controlled fortified villages as part of the Strategic Hamlet Resettlement Program. However, Viet Cong have infiltrated several of these South Vietnamese hamlets, killed their leaders, and seized control. We need to support the South Vietnamese Air Force in wiping out these VC-controlled hamlets. For the first part of this operation, we'll soften up their defenses with airstrikes, ready for an assault with light tanks and infantry.
I'm having some problems with rudder response. Need to perform a maneuverability check.
Roger that. Positioning to check you from behind. I'm on your 6. Initiate maneuverability check.
In the news today, North Vietnam forces have stormed Saigon and captured the president of South Vietnam.
That's me, right there. That's my life. An utter mess. Foobar. Did I really think everything could go back to normal after the war? Well, it didn't. My wife won't even talk to me. My daughter hates me. Even the Navy wouldn't let me fly anymore. So one day, you know, I thought, if no one here understands me, what about in Vietnam? Crazy. You know the rest. An Tune. I wrote a letter to a Vietnamese paper requesting help to find the man who shot me down on August 23rd, 1967. Why not contact one of the guys I shot down? Because we lost. That's why. Anyway, I didn't even think they'd publish my letter.
So, my response must have been quite a big surprise. Well, I did shoot down a phantom that day. I cannot be certain it was you, but I will gladly tell you about it. We were enemies then, but that is the past. Wayne Antoine, August 23rd, 1967. We had been preparing for action for months. keeping our MiGs out of combat, practicing new tactics, and studying American flight patterns. On August 23, 1967, we were ready at last. That day, you and your pilots entered our territory near Hanoi. We scrambled to our MiGs. The older MiG-17s approached you directly, while the MiG-21 interceptors stayed out of sight, gaining altitude. As the interceptors reached their position, above and beyond your planes, the MiG-17s launched their attack. That attack from the MiG-17s was the bait to split your formation, to separate the bombers from their escorts. It worked. Your fighters were drawn away, leaving the bombers vulnerable to a greater threat.
American aircraft inbound. Begin operation. Now, pull out, but make sure they can follow you.
My space almost empty.
The Phantoms are following us. It worked.